just don't see that happen.
Oh my God.
The fastest event in lumberjack sport.
This is absolutely a man on a mission blowing half the log up.
A single elimination tournament featuring the best lumberjacks in North America.
Wilson needs this. One more hit, he's done it.
The winners in both the U.S. and Canadian delegations will represent their countries at the World Trophy Championship in Milan.
2-2 drives. Jason Lentz, your gold medal winner.
Defending champion here, Jason Lentz is looking to make it 3 titles in a row.
And he's destroying this standing block. He might be going for a new record. Look at that, a new record.
But standing in his way is 7-time U.S. Timbersports champion Matt Cogar. Also 2-time podium finisher Nate Hodges. And all the rest of these hard-nosed competitors primed for their shot at the title.
This is what we call hardcore blue-collar toughness.
Who will be the baddest man in North America?
I love this. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Virginia Beach. Welcome to the, I keep calling it the United States Trophy event. This is the North American Trophy event here at the 24th Street Stage Bridge, and everybody's out back going, did you see the size of the crowd out there? You see the size of the crowd? This is what we wanted, and we got it. Thank you so much for being here. This is a big, big deal. This is the biggest timber sports endurance event. It is worldwide, 16 countries around the world competing and watching at home live stream. My name is, I'm nervous, Super Dave Jewett. I've done this sport for 25 years, but now I've got the honor of being on the stage, being the stage announcer. I got nicknamed the Super Dave because I was pretty good sawyer in the single buck, which is one of the events today. And this is, believe me, we couldn't do this without STIHL and all of our sponsors. We're going to mention them in a moment. But fortunately, I'm going to have a little help calling the show today from my boys up there, Kevin Holtz and Tommy Sanders. Take it away, guys.
Thank you, Super Dave. Now, Kevin, what we want is for everyone to pick out a favorite, root for them as hard as you possibly can. Why don't we get that ball rolling by you rolling out some of the ones to watch, maybe starting with one of the obvious ones, the fellow who's looking to three-peat in trophy championship action here on this side of the pond.
Yeah, there you see him up on the Jumbotron. That is not a zoomed-in view. The man is really that large. That is Jason Lentz, and he has been dominating in this endurance event, putting up 1 minute of fury year after year after year, but he has a tough field. All of the competitors that were on the podium last year are in a great position, including this guy right here, Matt Cogar, 7-time U.S. STIHL Timbersports champion, hailing out of West Virginia, and Nate Hodges. He was our bronze medalist last year. He has been right there so many times, but you can't just look at that podium last year and those 3 individuals. We have a huge pool of American competitors and also Canadian competitors, because this is now a North American event. Mr. Cumberland has a lot of company coming up on stage. Guys like Sterling Hart, Mitch Hewitt, Marcel Dupuis. Any one of these guys can, in a single elimination competition, can pull off a win and become our North American Trophy champion.
It is going to be fast and furious, and you must win or you are done. Back to you, Super Dave.
Absolutely. It is single elimination from here on out. Again, a big thank you to the big crowd here. Thank you for STIHL, and of course our other sponsors, Duluth Trading, Ace Hardware, John Deere. Couldn't do it without them. All right, we got 16 athletes total, 6 Canadian, 10 Americans. Without further ado, let's bring out the Canadians from Cape Breton, Nova Scotia. Give it up for George Williams. From Magna Bay, British Columbia, big round of applause for Mitchell Hewitt. And all the way from Nova Scotia, big round of applause for Jeff Larkin. And the professional fighter from Memram Cook, New Brunswick, Marcel Dupuis. from Elmwood, New Brunswick, this is Ben Cumberland. And our current Canadian Trophy champion from Squamish, British Columbia, Stirling Hart. And at this point, please remove your caps, rise if you are able, for the playing of the Canadian National Anthem. Stage, we've got 10 of the best in the country. Let's bring them out. We're ready to go? All right, let's do it. They say the production crew says, bring them out, Dave. From Charleston, West Virginia, Arden Cogar Jr. And from Morgantown, West Virginia, this is Josh Wilson. From Springville, New York, big round for Mark Boquin. From Matthews, North Carolina, Ben Nicely. Hailing from Walpole, New Hampshire, this is Trevor Beaudry. All the way from Toll House, California, Walt Page. From Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, Matt Slingerland. (2023) bronze medalist from North Fork, California, Nate Hodges. Our 2019 champion and national record holder in this event from Grafton, West Virginia, Matthew Cogar. Our two-time and current national champion from Diana, West Virginia, Jason Lentz. Please rise for the playing of our American National Anthem. ladies and gentlemen. Plenty of rules in this event and plenty of high-tech cameras watching. We're going to have 3 judges. Let's give them a little credit. Head Judge Rich Hell, Jonathan Russell, and Chris Alba. Welcome to Timber Sports, Chris. It happens to all of us. Like I said, this is going to be live streamed around the world, so we're going to have the cameras off of me and on you. And when they give me a little nod in the earpiece here, we're going to have cameras rolling and we're going to get you people live streamed around the world. Anybody at home can watch this on STIHL Timbersports YouTube. So, we're ready? Good? We're good? We're good? They're saying we're good. 60 seconds of insanity. Let's do it, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. You can wave your flags, make all the noise in the world. Here's the cameras right here. Again, this is live streamed around the world. This is the kickoff of the 2024 season. Looking to break some records here today. We had the world record broken here a few years ago, and we're looking to break it again. With your help, and of course, the faster, the louder you guys are, the faster these athletes will go. We got about 20 more seconds. Keep it going. I need you to yell so I don't have to. 10 more seconds. Here we go. This is it. This is the shot. There you go. That's the shot. Everyone's got their flags up. Beautiful. Everyone watching around the world, believe me, my phone has been blowing up wondering when this is starting. And it has started. Great job. Great job, everybody. You did it. I love it. So that's what you're going to be watching here. We talked about it. 2 events, 2 chopping events, 2 sawing events, 4 back-to-back-to-back. Very little rest in between. It's going to start with a stock saw. 16-inch white pine log. Each competitor will be using a warmed-up, identical MS Steel MS661. They will retrieve the saw on go, make a complete disc. Saw must be shut off. Then they come over here. This is the horizontal chop. We called it in college. This is now called the underhand chop. They will chop halfway through the block facing you. They will make their turn, finish the block off. Then they will go over back to that 16-inch log, what they call the misery whip. They'll make one cut with a single box saw, a 6 to 6.5 foot, $4,000 razor sharp saw, actually all hand filed. These saws only come from New Zealand, Australia, Canada. They're very difficult to come by, all this equipment, but they're not done yet. Then, final event, the second chopping event, the 4th event, is the standing block chop. They'll chop through the front half, make the quick transition around to the back side, sever the block off, and the bad news is whoever wins it has to go again. Only one competitor will be our national champion. We will be sending the top American, top Canadian over to Milan, Italy, May 25th. And like I said, the world record, I want to say a little bit, world record was held in Australia. Matt Cogar broke it in 54 seconds right here in Virginia Beach a few years ago. However, last year, Jack Jordan from New Zealand took it back down to the southern hemisphere. The world record is now 53 seconds. The New Zealanders hold it for now. That could all change in the next hour. We are ready to go for the first heat. Let's bring them out. Heat number 1, Matt Cogar versus George Williams.
All right, here we go. This is going to be heat number 1 in the round of 16 on stand number 1. It's going to be Matt Cogar. And this man right here on stand number 2, George Williams. There's Matt Cogar, the 7-time U.S. champion, the winner of the U.S. Trophy title in 2018, winner of the World Trophy title 2019. His opponent from Nova Scotia in Canada, George Williams, was a good year last year, 5th in the National Individual Championship, 5th in the National Trophy Championship for Canada as well. They have all qualified for the time trials earlier today. The matchups are based on their finishes in that. Matt Cogar says he is ready to go. He is healthy, and he is looking to win.
Warm up your saws.
This is a bit of a new format for us this year. This is no longer the U.S. Trophy event. This is now the North American Trophy event for this year, at least. U.S. and
Athletes
Canada
ready.
head-to-head. We will have individual champions, U.S. and Canada respectively, but we'll mix it all up, and we will also crown our North American title. Wow, Matt Cogar very quick to the block. Dave Jewett mentioned in our intro, this was his world record event, 54-ish seconds. That now belongs to New Zealand, that title, that world record title, and he is looking to regain it. I don't think you're going to see him post that world record time here in the first round. No. He's got a long path ahead of him, presumably. He should be advancing fairly easily through this round. He's already off to the single buck event. I can't emphasize it enough. This single buck event is so difficult. You run over there. You got to get your feet in the exact right position. You got to get in that comfortable set. And Matt just looks effortless out there. Very smooth, very controlled as he transitions over to the stand-in block chop. 1-1 to open. He's going to start chasing those corners. 2 up hits, 2 down drivers, should be 2 more up hits, and then he'll switch, no, just 1 more up hit on the far side, and he'll switch over to the back side of this log again. 1-1, and he's already looking to drive.
Wow.
What a finish. Under a minute in his first round in a fairly easy walk for Matt Cogar. What an exclamation point. I think we just saw some experimentation there from Matt Cogar in that stand-in block chop.
I think it worked. If that's cruising speed, I can't wait to see it when he gets really pushed. George Williams trying to get through this one right here. All right. George has done an unofficial time of 58.38 for Matt Cogar. I asked you before we started here, were we going to get under a minute? You said, I think so. That's done.
Yeah, pretty handily. We can check that box already.
All right, gentlemen, the winner is Matt Cogar.
We're talking about the world record in 53 seconds. Matt Cogar was pretty much, I'd say he was on cruise control for that one. Not even breathing heavy, but look at that, 58 seconds. And that was a warm-up run for Matt Cogar.
We're going to re-rack this here and take another look at this run. There's Matt Cogar on the near side, Williams on the far side as he steps off this. Just perfect transition over to the single buck, steps into place. We've seen a lot of guys struggle with that. They're coming in on a relatively dirty surface with the chips from the stock saw event there, but this is where he really shined. The Axe was loving this block. He was cutting very well. Watch this, 1 up, 1 down, goes into a round of drivers, 1 near, 1 far, cleans this block off with an exclamation point, made it look effortless.
Well, that's the way it stacks up here, and the first one to advance to the quarterfinal round is going to be Matt Cogar with his victory in heat number 1 of the round of 16. Eight will advance from the round of 16 in our quarterfinals with 8 competitors down to 4 in the semis. We'll have 2 winners there. The 2 on the losing side of the semis will compete in the small final. Right before we get to the final and crown our champion, STIHL TimberSports North American Trophy for 2024. Got a great crowd. This facility here, the 24th Street stage.
Great crowd, Tommy. Great crew too. We got to make sure we acknowledge the Granite State crew. We try to bring or reference them whenever we can. These guys and gals are just working their tails off up there. this trophy event is just unlike a normal timber sports event. Normal timber sports event, you kind of put your head in, okay, we're in the underhand heats, and we got to get an underhand block set up. We need these tools. Well, in between each one of these heats, the Granite State crew has to do everything. They've got to re-rack the sawing bunks. They've got to get the new standing blocks out. They've got to get the underhand blocks out. There's a tremendous amount of work to clean the deck. There's a tremendous amount of work that goes on in between heats. And, of course, the competitors as well. So Matt Cogar is advancing, right? He's got to go back. He's got to set up another underhand, another standing block. One thing that's a little bit different here as opposed to what I'll call our regular timber sports events, in the underhand, normally our competitors cut their own footholds with their axes. It's kind of a win-lose situation. Number one, it's a win because they get to test the axes in a block of wood. They're going to get at least some indication of how the axe is going to cut in that block. At the same time, if you think about it, Tommy, these blocks have slightly less timber to cut. Instead of having that little hump in between the middle of their feet, it's now a flat surface across there. Well, periodically, that little fiber at the top, that's the last holding factor that's going to snag your block up.
We're ready to go. All right. Let's bring him out from Canada, Marcel Dupuis versus Ben Nicely. We go Marcel Dupuis, the professional firefighter on the left. He has represented Canada on their team relay team, the national team relay team. He was over in Stuttgart cutting the underhand for Team Canada, and he was part of a massive comeback that Team Canada orchestrated last year. And if you haven't seen it, go to STIHL Timbersports YouTube, watch the national relay, Canada versus New Zealand. It was one of the greatest comebacks ever filmed in timber sports. Marcel Dupuis, Ben Cumberland, Stirling, Hart, and I believe Mitch Hewitt, but they were about a half a block down, and they fought back. Stirling Hart, we're going to see him momentarily cut the final standing, but it's just an incredible race to watch. This Team Canada, just such a powerhouse team worldwide.
All right, on stand number one, that is Marcel Dupuis, 38 years old, from New Brunswick in Canada, 3 times Canadian national champion. Silver in the national trophy champions 22 and 23, looking for a better result this time, and that would be the gold. Going up against a young man from the United States, that is Ben Nicely, 30 years old. Equipment operator.
Athletes ready.
From North Carolina, 5th place in trophy in 2022. And we're ready.
2, 1, go!
Well, Tommy, I think this is going to be a really tight race. Ben Nicely has been coming on exceptionally strong, joining us out of the college ranks, if you followed the STIHL Timbersports Collegiate Series. And then, of course, Marcel Dupuis has been so close so many times. Here's one of his premier events, the underhand chop. He's got a good, clean cut going in the front side of the log. He's going to get the bottom cleaned out. He does. One last driver in the top, turns just behind Ben Nicely. Ben Nicely, though, that axe is not liking that block. You see, he puts in a couple of hits, it kind of hangs up, and that was all that Marcel Dupuis needed. He's able to reel him in. A little bit of a hang up there at the top for Dupuis. Ben Nicely, again, it's going to come down to just microseconds in between all these different events and throughout all these events. Dupuis, this slight advantage, one blow ahead of Nicely, and we're into the final backstretch. This is the standing block chop. Ben Nicely with a bit of a glancing blow, turning together. I think Nicely's got a little bit of extra timber, but Dupuis, look at the axe hanging that block. It is not liking that stick of timber. I think Nicely might have this thing.
There he goes, Nicely.
One blow of the axe. Neither one of those competitors is going to be happy with that standing block cut. Marcel Dupuis, though, I think has the greatest level of frustration. That axe was hanging repeatedly in that block, and that is just our good buddy there, Dave Jewett, talks about riding a bike uphill and hitting a pothole.
That's a good analogy.
Kills your momentum. It kills your rhythm.
Getting ready for Judge Rich Hallett.
All right, nice job, gentlemen. The winner is Ben Nicely.
Ben, you just looked off the stage. You said to someone, it's hard. You're saying the race is hard or the logs are hard. Because logs can vary, can't they?
Yeah, the logs can vary a lot. I mean, luckily here, you only have to match 2. So they're pretty similar, but they can vary.
Tell us about the front side of that standing block. You had a couple. I mean, people don't understand how difficult it is. You know, you're not swinging up and down. You're trying to control an axe on a 45-degree plane. You've got a 6.5-pound axe on the end of a 30-inch hickory handle. After you've done 3 events, what was going through your mind when you had that scoop? You thought you were out, but you weren't. You stayed with it.
Yeah, the event's hard enough before, like when you can feel your arms. When you can't feel your arms, twice as hard. After the scoop, I figured I was just going to drive and get out of it. It's the best thing to do.
Good call. You're moving on to the next round. Congratulations. You go, big. One more big round of applause. Ben Nicely.
Well, here's another look with Marcel Dupuis in the background, Ben Nicely in the foreground. You can see that was the hit right there. That was a stick for Ben Nicely in that underhand. And then once they got through the single block, which was relatively uneventful, the standing block is where they were just duking it back and forth. There was just stuck hits and glancing blows, and both of these guys struggled at different times. There you see the axe bounce back out for Ben Nicely. And so they were just exchanging struggles, if you will, working through this standing block. Finally, it was Ben Nicely who just edged out Marcel Dupuis by about half a blow of the axe. All those events, all those disciplines, all those transitions came down to such a small margin.
Ben Nicely with a time of 1:11.47. Ben Nicely of North Carolina becomes the second American to advance into the quarterfinals, taking down Dupuis. Got to rank as a bit of an upset, I think.
Yeah, it is. But like I watched that heat come together, and I was thinking about Ben Nicely's career in the past couple of years, and he really has been on a tear.
Right.
And, you know, Marcel has had silver medal matchups and has been right there, and I kind of saw that coming. But honestly, I didn't know which way it was going to fall. And that's, what a race between two tremendous choppers and sawyers. You could see both of those guys have difficulty in that standing block, and it was a matter of who had less difficulty.
0.8 of a second made the difference in that, and that's kind of can be a big margin in this game. It's kind of like the stock saw in our regular championships. The margins are so thin, and one uncooperative little bit of fiber can cause you to have to make one more hit, and there goes your win. I mean, it is so close so many times.
Well, Tommy, I was fixated on that standing block and axis hanging up and the issues that were going on. But that may not have been really where we'd have to really break down all those events and whatever. But think about like the transitions. Getting your protective apparel off after the stock saw as you're moving to the underhand. There's fractions of a second to gain there. Getting back over to your single block, getting your feet in position. There's fractions of a second there. There's fractions to be won or lost throughout this entire thing. We're not just looking at who can cut the block the fastest, it's also who can make those transitions most efficiently.
National team relay races. STIHL TIMBERSPORTS sponsors every year. 28 countries involved right now. So not only are these athletes going for this trophy, but they're also going to show their skills. Now they want to be picked on the U.S. team. They want to be picked for the Canadian team, Australia, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, all over Europe. It's just exploding. So everybody's always fighting not just for the individual win, but to prove that they can do the underhand standing, the single block, the stock saw for their national team.
All right, here we go. Heat 3. It's going to be Ben Cumberland and Jeff Larkin. There you go. Ben Cumberland coming out right here. Facing the stage on the left. He was incredibly fast in the preliminary rounds. Ben Cumberland came in at 4th with a 1:09, powered by his amazing single bucking ability. And he's told me earlier, I've been fighting chronic bronchitis for months now, but he says no worries, he's going to push right through it today.
All right, on stand number 1. That is going to be Ben Cumberland from New Brunswick in Canada, qualified with a time of 1.08.75. He is the reigning individual national champion in Canada 2023. The national trophy competition last year and the year before, he collected the bronze both times, medaled both times. He's going to be going up on stand number 2. Jeff Larkin, 35 years old from Nova Scotia.
Warm up your saws.
4th in the national trophy competition in both 2022 and 2023. And we are very, very near to getting our 3rd heat, the round of 16 underway, an all-Canada version.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
In terms of the Canadian side of the series, Larkin has been right at Cumberland's heels. Tommy, you laid it out there perfectly in the past couple of years. Both of these guys in near synchronous motions, setting that saw down, getting rid of their protective apparel, transitioning to this underhand chop. Our bronze and just off podium finishers the past couple of years in Canada are going to go head to head. What a great matchup in terms of our results of our time trials earlier today. It is Cumberland about one blow ahead of Larkin coming off that underhand chop. But look at the transition. He gets into that single buck so perfectly. He was around 1:08 in the time trials earlier today. And we always look at that 1 minute mark. How far above or below are you in that 1 minute mark? Cumberland is just on a tear. Coming off of that single buck, great looking stand and block chop. He is running away from Larkin into the backside of the block. He's got a solid job done. Lots of timber shifted in the front of that log. He's got it cleared out well, but he's losing steam. He's driving. There he goes. He didn't quite come. Wow.
Very close.
It was right on his heels. Cumberland on his second to last down driver on that standing block didn't quite move it close enough to him. He wasn't really in the guts. He wasn't really out on the near side of the block, and it didn't tear. It didn't open up that block. He had to go back and punch it one more time right in the middle, and it finally cleared it. But again, Larkin was right on his heels. Wow, what a race.
Yeah, Ben Cumberland had put just a little bit more hay in the barn during the single buck. He is a good single buck cutter as well, and
Nice job,
Super
gentlemen.
Dave told us to watch this guy.
The winner is Ben
something
Cumberland.
they really admire.
I don't know why I'm enjoying your misery, buddy. Bronchitis, chronic bronchitis for months and months. You got through, you look like you were just steady, but then when you dropped that saw, you went to the standing block, there was this massive anger that came out. Talk about that race.
That was a look of being in the pain cave and trying to embrace the hurt. No, I got a lot of people supporting me, a lot of people who've helped with gear. All the glory to God. I'm just so stoked to be here. Cutting. Thanks for coming, guys. This has been a lot of fun.
Rest up, get some oxygen. You're at sea level, buddy. Another race coming up. Big round of applause. One more time. Ben Cumberland.
Well, my favorite thing, Tommy, as you know, is to play armchair lumberjack. Just sit back and kind of take a look and see what's going on here. That transition from the stock saw to the underhand was just beautiful from both these guys. You see Cumberland with just a small hang-up as he moves over to the single buck. This is where that saw is set on a plane. It's resting in the top of that log. That saw needs to travel along that same plane, but if you step up to that block and you pull that handle down instead of in parallel to the plane that saw is sitting at, you're going to hang a raker. That's exactly what happened to Ben Cumberland at the start. You can see here as he's finishing, that hit right there. You know what? He made a liar out of me. He did have some metal showing on the near side of that log. It just didn't go for whatever reason. Had to go back one more punch, got it off. I credit to Larkin, though. He really turned it on in that standing block. I had virtually crossed him off the list after watching the interval as they started that standing block, but he found some time. He found some energy in there and shaved some time off that clock.
So Ben Cumberland will advance to the quarterfinal. His time of 1 minute 6 seconds, 0.35 is the second fastest time today, second only to Matthew Cogar, and about a second and a half behind is Jeff Larkin. A good race between the two Canadians. Both Jeff Larkin and Ben Cumberland achieving a personal best with those two times in trophy. The 106.35 and the 107.82. Shame to have a loser in that one, but Ben Cumberland, the man comes out on top. He advances to the quarterfinal. Kind of cool and breezy for a day in May here on this beautiful boardwalk here in Virginia Beach. All 3 miles of it, just a marvel. And here at the 24th Street stage, terrific facility, terrific crowd.
That's a beautiful venue, Tommy. And I know this isn't beach weather. I'll give you that.
Not technically, no.
But this is wood chopping weather.
Why do you say that?
Cool, nice breeze. These guys are running on prime oxygen. Right? Like, we're not overheating. We're not over-humidified. Yeah. They are just loving this.
Here we go, Heat 4 from Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. Matty Slingerland and his opponent from Morgantown, West Virginia, Josh Wilson.
Here we go. This is heat number 4 in the round of 16. That is Matt Slingerland right there. Matt Slingerland makes his home now in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. Won the silver trophy. United States 2018.
Time we
going up against Josh Wilson.
Though, before we transition off Matty Slingerland, that home in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee is a little more crowded this week.
That's right.
Brand new baby on Monday. So if he looks a little bloodshot under the eyes or bags under the eyes, bloodshot eyes, you know why, but.
Welcome the new son into the household 5 days ago. Matty's going up against Josh Wilson from Morgantown, West Virginia. 4th in U.S. Trophy, just off the podium, just missed the podium in 2022, I should say. 6th in the U.S. Individual Championships last year.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go.
Matty Slingerland, one of the best technicians in the country, if not the world, in the stock saw, as is Josh Wilson.
Wow.
And the two of them just put on a clinic. Look at this, synchronized chopping. They are literally blow for blow in this underhand chop. Very efficient runs in that stock saw run, and then the transition to the underhand was just flawless. This is going to be an absolute dead heat out of this underhand, and I really think the single buck is going to be the deciding factor. I got to give it advantage Matt Slingerland in this single buck, and I think that if he can pull off a win in this particular round, in this heat, I think it's going to be right here in this single buck. But look at Josh Wilson. Josh Wilson with a hang-up. I was about to say he's reeling him in. Josh Wilson with 3 hang-ups, 3 pushes, hung on the bottom of that block. That is not what he needed. He has got to get the go on if he's going to catch Matty Slingerland, who is not waiting around. Matty should be transitioned to drives. 1, 2, 3 drives. It's not going. It's not moving yet. It's still not shifting. There it is. Matt may be going out a little bit of a hero move, trying to drive off too much wood. We saw Ben Nicely kind of mouth out to somebody in the crowd earlier that the timber is firm. It's harder wood. And I think Matty was really trying to get the go on. He drove through a tremendous amount of wood in that block, but it just didn't want to shift.
Nice job, gentlemen. The winner is Matt Slingerland.
Short subject. I know. You remember last year. You had the win. You had the win that was going to propel you to the bronze medal, and it came down to the backside of that standing block. You missed a bad hit. Nate Hodges reeled you in. How do you shake that off moving into 2024?
You train harder, come back harder. Just give it your all. You got to leave it all out here, or there's no point in being here.
Congratulations on the win. Congratulations on your new baby boy, Jack.
Yeah, Cassandra, I love you. I know you're watching. Let's bring it home.
All right, another round. There you go. We're going to see him again. That's Matty Slingerland.
Two great saw technicians. These guys are excellent operators, and you can see it may have been just a tiny advantage. Josh Wilson. Did you see how quick the protective apparel comes off? The saws come down, and in one sweep, the glasses and ear protection hits the stage. Stays very controlled, though, because you can get penalized if your protective apparel crosses the line or comes off the stage. This is a defining moment at the bottom of this single buck for Josh Wilson. He's off camera right now, but Matty Slingerland is rifling down through this log. Josh Wilson has a series of, I believe, 3 hang-ups at the bottom. Here we go. We got a great look at it. There's number 1. Hands come up, nose is down. There it is again. Hands come up, nose is down. And it was kind of 2 for 1 there on that last hang-up. A very tough break. Just takes the momentum out. Here's where things almost went bad for Matty Slingerland. That's where the block finally came off. But it was that the 2 hits prior to that came in a little bit low, and he was driving into the stump. Couldn't quite get it lined up. This is a game of inches and fractions of an inch, and it almost cost Matty Slingerland that win.
Matt Slinger with a time of 1 minute, 7 seconds, .541. He will advance to the quarterfinals. He's got to be very thankful to get past Josh Wilson. Josh Wilson has been one of the emerging talents the last few years. Had a lot of trouble with those hang-ups that you just mentioned, Kevin, but Matt Slingerland, good work, solid at getting through there to the quarterfinal.
Yeah, trouble for Josh Wilson at the bottom of that single buck. Trouble for Matty Slingerland at the backside of that standing block chop. And it was, again, just kind of a whose trouble hurt them the least. Yeah. And in that case, it was Matty Slingerland who just came out on top. He has been, not just in the trophy event, but also on the main stage for STIHL Timbersports, he has been right there many times. And we're not going to go through the laundry list of the hiccups and glitches and trouble and whatever, but he is right there. And I had a great conversation with him. It was an elevator ride at the hotel just down the road here. And he said, no, he goes, clean run. It's just going to be a clean run. He's got the right attitude. He's coming from a great place, brand new baby boy. He's got his head in the right spot. And I think we're going to see some really good stuff from Matty this weekend.
And that quickly, we are halfway through the round of 16 here. This Granite State crew, like well-oiled machine, taking care of 4 different disciplines at once. I mean, that's a task.
Yep. I was telling somebody, and this is no slight on anybody, but I was telling somebody, I said, well, yeah, it's going to be on live stream, but, sometimes that action's a little slow. We got to set up in between every event. There has been no delay.
Oh, my God.
These guys are just blitzing through it. I feel like by the time we run a replay, we're taking a look at the scores, whatever, we're just a matter of seconds away from starting the next heat. So all the credit to that Granite State crew. They are knocking it out of the park in terms of transitioning from one heat to the next.
I suspect they've trained pretty hard for this one as well, just like the athletes. It shows.
Heat 5, let's bring him out. Nate Hodges versus Mitchell Hewitt.
Been waiting for this one, Tommy.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one. A couple of great athletes here. Both of them known very much for their springboard talent, or tree as it's called down in Australia. Just really spry, adept athletes here. Nate Hodges, 40 years old, but they came to the game late as far as this level of competition. Been doing it a lot of his life, but he really turned on a switch a few years ago, said, I'm going in, I'm going to be a success at this, and so he has done. Going up against Mitch Hewitt, originally from Australia, now making his home in British Columbia. Bronze in the World Trophy competition of 2011 and 2014.
Tommy, I'm a big Mitch Hewitt fan. Like, you know, not tattoos and stuff, but I'm a big Mitch Hewitt fan. He and I are the same vintage. We used to compete against each other quite a few years ago when I still thought I wanted to be out there competing instead of up here with you. But Nate Hodges is just on a tear. The past several years, every year we're like, well, you know, that was kind of just a thing, right? Like, that's just a thing. That's not going to happen again. And he just brings it every single time. The determination, the training, the investment. He is just full go all the time. This is going to be a race.
Go!
Oh, trouble for fan number 1 for Nate Hodges. It doesn't seem like it impacted him too bad. He reels it back in, but there you see, there's that interval between he and Hewitt. He's got it reeled in, though, as they transition to the underhand chop. It looks like he came down and maybe got the chain break at the start of the stock saw. So now, here's the dichotomy. Here's the difference between these two guys. The technique of Mitch Hewitt, the efficiency, and then the brute force, the clubbing swing of Nate Hodges over on the left. Curious to see how this pans out. Nate Hodges has like a couple, like literally a few tiny minuscule cuts with this single muck saw, and he's running it exceptionally well. JP Mercier built him that saw specifically for this event. He said he wanted a lighter saw. He wanted to be faster. Look at Mitch Hewitt is reeling him in, though. Nate Hodges is through the front of this block. Mitch has a tremendous amount of work to do. He is still on the front side of the log. I don't think he's going to have any chance of catching Hodges at this point. There it is. Nate Hodges drives off. 1:04 showing on the clock. Look at the clean cut, though, from Mitch Hewitt. What a great technician. Always a tremendous axeman. Clean chops, proper cuts. Great run from Mitch Hewitt. Nate Hodges, though, just steamrolled through that heat.
Started off a touch behind, made it up by the second stop, so then it was off to the races for Nate. Rich Allen ready to deliver.
Nice job, gentlemen. The winner is Nate Hodges.
Great job, Nate. You said, look, I'm here to win, and you're just a man on a mission. How you feeling? Again, you're the one that said that first race is the most difficult.
Yep. Well, Dave, I mean, it's crazy. You know, you got these plans to come out here and win, but you get on this stage and you get the nerves, and there's a lot of moving parts to this race, so you got to really focus and just dial it in and, you know, give it your all. So,
well, talk about moving parts. Talk about FedEx, Canada, Customs. You had a saw. You had your $4,000 saw touched up in Canada, hand filed, but then it was shipped. It got stuck in Customs. It literally arrived yesterday.
Yeah, it was, you know, JP Mercier does a really good job with saws. He's backed up. He's a busy man because he's so good at what he does. He put that thing in the mail Wednesday afternoon, crossed our fingers. It was supposed to be there Thursday, got held up in Customs, made it Friday, and she's running pretty good. So,
great job seeing the quarterfinal rounds. We're going to see this big guy again. That's Nate Hodges.
See the replay here. Hodges,
Well, there you see that run from Nate Hodges as he goes down to the saw, grabs a finger or two, or hooks a finger or two on that chain brake. Fortunately, it did not engage. If you push that lever forward, it actually locks a brake onto the clutch of the chainsaw. So, yeah, it was bad. He shouldn't have touched it. It threw his hand off, but it could have been a lot worse. Just a few extra ounces of force in the forward direction. It would have locked that chain brake on, and then all calamity just ensues. Here we see him into the underhand chop, putting in a beautiful, clean, nice, neat face in that club-handed style chopping. I cannot endorse club-handed chopping, but I can't argue the results. Yep. What a great cut. And here's that saw that we just talked about. That single buck saw came in, overnight mail, showed up literally yesterday on Friday. He's only just had a couple of cuts with it, put up a great run. And then he goes at this standing block with a snow shovel of an axe, an absolute monster of an axe. The two hits more than cover the face of that block into the backside. Mitch Hewitt, unfortunately, no chance to catch up at that point. It was all Hodges cruising through the back of this standing block.
Nate Hodges' time, 1 minute, 4 seconds, and 13/100ths, the second fastest time so far today. Nate Hodges of California will advance to the quarterfinals. Ask him how he trained for this. He says, I live up at elevation. There's lots of dead trees there. I go find one, I drag it home, and I chop on it till I can't feel my arms anymore. That's how he builds his endurance.
And you know who would endorse that? We don't talk about this name much anymore. Matt Bush. Matt, if you're watching, still thinking of you, buddy. But Matt Bush talked about that. He and I actually had a ride back from Virginia Beach years ago, and we were talking about training. And he says, you got to chop until your arms are dead. Because once your arms are dead, then the big muscles take over. Then your form really dials in. And so that's a great training strategy for Nate Hodges, who, in my opinion, is too dependent on those arms. He's got big muscles, big meaty guy, super strong, but still, I don't care how big your arms are, they're still not the biggest muscles in your body. You got a lot of other big muscles there. So that's a great training strategy. It forces you at that point, once your arms are noodly, gets the rest of your core engaged and lets your arms just kind of whip around.
Well, I know you and Super Dave want to get your hands on his single buck technique as well. So he's maybe got a session upcoming with you somehow.
Yeah, I'd love to see some tune-up. I mean, he's exceptionally fast with that saw. Don't get me wrong, but there's always faster. There's always that next level, and every single competitor on this stage is hunting that. Not to be a broken record either, Tommy, but the stage is pretty much ready.
Wow. That's like magic.
Yeah. Our wood crew, our wood crew, you and me, we own them.
Right,
that's
sure,
our wood
yeah.
crew. The Granite State crew just is knocking it out.
To go. Okay, here we go. Heat 6. This is Trevor Beaudry versus Mark Beauquin. Trevor Beaudry on the left, out of Walpole, New Hampshire.
Over previous years.
Mark Beauquin, Springville, New York. Mark Beauquin, big guy on the right.
Mark Beauquin from Western New York, 12th in the trophy competition last year, but loves the trophy. Really, really enjoys it. Best time, though, was a 128.95. He says, I may not be as spry as I used to be, but I still love trophy. Trophy is what kind of turns me on. Likes to be pushed, and see what he can get done today. This is sort of our Northeast United States Championship trophy here.
These are my neighbors pretty much.
Yeah.
Beauquin more than Beaudry, but Beauquin is such a neighbor to me. I'm a Western New Yorker myself. I saw his axe box. I don't know if I've just never noticed this before, but if you're familiar with the Buffalo Bills and you're familiar with Zubaz pants, his axe box has a Buffalo Bills themed Zubaz wrap on it. So he's all Western New York all the time, and just a great all-around guy. Just a super fun guy to hang out with.
Very nice man.
Athletes ready. Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 2, 1, go!
That nice out the window, though, right now as he goes head-to-head with Trevor Beaudry. Both these guys are great saw technicians. It is advantage Beauquin, and a big advantage Beauquin, as he is into that block a whole blow ahead of Trevor Beaudry. And I tell you what, the next event is actually Beauquin's premier event, which is the single buck event. If he can enter that single buck ahead of Beaudry, it doesn't look good for Beaudry. There it is. It's Beauquin to the single buck, not really putting a hustle on getting there, but he's got a solid push and a half ahead of Beaudry. Beaudry has to go right now. There's trouble for
that is not good. That is not good. That is going to even things up exactly even right now.
Yeah, that was supposed to be his big advantage in this race, that single buck event. 2 hang-ups on the pole stroke. That is too much heel drawing back. This is where Beaudry can pass, and he is into the backside of the log. Mark Beauquin has now slipped into second place in this heat. Trevor Beaudry should have this handy. He's got it the near side. There goes the far side. Beauquin is, not going to have it here. This is Beauquin. I was not looking for him to put in a blazing standing block chop. It was going to be the stocks, the other 3 disciplines. And when he hung up in that single block, that was the window of opportunity for Trevor Beaudry, and he leapt through it.
That is a personal best for Trevor Beaudry. We'll give you that official time in just a moment here.
Nice job, gentlemen. The winner is Trevor Beaudry.
Good job, Trevor. Moving on to the quarterfinal round. What's the farthest you've advanced in this trophy event?
Quarters.
Quarterfinal. Here you go again. Now, I heard you talking with Stirling Hart earlier. You said, Stirling, I want to thank you for helping me out with my standing block chop. Stirling Hart out of Canada. And that it really is an international sport, and everybody helps each other. How did Stirling help you in this standing block? You cut absolutely beautiful and a very convincing win.
Yeah, Stirling gave me some tips for some cueing to help me get the timing right, because standing block's very dependent on how you pivot your hips and how you generate that power. You think that, you just bull your way through it. But if your hips and your arms are turning at the same time, you don't generate anywhere near as much power. So you have to make sure that your hips are coming through before your arms, and it kind of makes like a bullwhip. So Stirling helped me out with some cueing with that. It was actually to do with a golf swing, and a bunch of people have tried to help me, but that was what really, it clicked and really made a big difference.
Thanks very much, Trevor. See you again, quarterfinal round. Here we go. Yeah, big round of applause. Trevor Beaudry moving on.
Let's go back and have another look at that run. There's Trevor Beaudry as he transitions. Does not take off his glasses, does not get rid of his hearing protection, just runs right over to the underhand with it. You'll see guys like sweep all that gear off their head, and apparently Beaudry didn't want to. He just carried it on with him. Here we go, Beauquin around to the second side, about a half a swing ahead of Beaudry, and then we'll see, unfortunately, where things fall apart for Beauquin, and fortunately for Trevor Beaudry, he's able to reel in and pass him. It is, at this point, I'm like, okay, it's all Beauquin, but as we get into the bottom 2/3 of this block, you can see he's going to start heeling it. He's drawing back there. It locked up so hard that his hand slipped off. Once those teeth start chattering, jumping, etc., it puts a tremendous amount of resistance in there. Like we always talk about, Dave Jewett loves to say it, it's like hitting a pothole running uphill. Beaudry, though, look at this standing block chop. He's got to go buy Hart a beer, I think, later after this run, because that is a great-looking standing block cut. He talked about advancing his hips and then cracking his shoulders in behind. That golf analogy is a great way to think about it. There, a little bit of a pause there. You can see a nanosecond pause where he was almost in disbelief that block didn't come apart on that near blow, that down driver on the backside.
Well, again, a personal best for Trevor Beaudry. Beaudry, 1 minute, 11.62 seconds. He's going to advance to the quarterfinals for the second year in a row. And Mark Boquin, you always considered a solid single. Sorry, that it's a different game in this one, though. I mean, you're flying out of chaos through the sawdust. In a regular championship, you get to get set, attenuate your breathing, get your balance. You don't get to do any of that here.
And I can't emphasize it enough. Foot placement. Foot placement, foot placement, foot placement. That is one of the things that competitors, Cassidy Shear, I know you're watching, buddy. Cassidy Shear comes out with a scaffolding network and lays it down on stage so that he knows when he comes out on stage, and he doesn't have a whole lot of time, even in our regular Timber Sports series, he doesn't have a whole lot of time to get set up. He knows his feet are going to be exactly where he needs to be. Your distance from the log, front foot and back foot and total body position, sets you up for success or failure. And if you're too close to the log, you're not going to be able to extend your arms. The nose of the saw is going to drop. You're going to finish that push stroke with your elbows bent. It's going to cause disaster. If you're too far back, you're going to have a whole new series of problems. So foot placement is so huge. And when you're running off that underhand block and running towards the handle of your saw and trying to jump into that perfect foot placement, it probably isn't going to be exactly where you want to be, and that's why you see some of the best single sawyers in the world struggling out here periodically. They're just not in that headspace. They're not attending like they would normally if it was just a single buck event.
So just 2 heats remaining. This is our time.
Go intros, here we go. Heat number 7, Jason Lentz versus Arden Cogar Jr. Jason Lentz out of Diana, West Virginia. Took the title in 2022-2023 here at Virginia Beach. Arden Cogar Jr. looking again to move on to the quarterfinal round. Jason Lentz, fourth generation.
Right there. Jason Lentz,
Jason Lentz on the left here.
Three-peat as far as trophy competition goes here. At this side of the Atlantic for sure. So our reigning individual champ as well. He's got 2 of those championships. There's a world individual championship to his credit as well. 38 years old now, not the young upstart he was. I think he's got a ton more maturity. The X and Y curves are coming together. His physical prowess and his mental prowess are really starting to get close. It's really getting scary with him.
Yeah, and the mental prowess, we've talked about that for quite a few years, where he had the ability, he had the skill set, he's got the lineage, but just I think it was between his ears. He didn't see himself as a champion. He wasn't putting the right pieces together. I'm not sure what it was, but now the cat's clicking. Like you said, watch out.
And Arden Cogar Jr. on stand number 2. What can you say about Arden Cogar Jr.? Almost, he's 50 years competing in timber sports.
3, 2, 1, go!
Both these guys very quick to the block. This is going to be a really tight race, but I got to give advantage to Jason. Look at how quick both these guys are transitioning over. Watch the swing speed from Arden Cogar Jr. Just pistons those hits into this underhand chop. A little bit of a hang-up, though. I don't know if that axe is really liking that block. Lentz around just about a swing ahead. Clears the chips. He's got to get down to the bottom of that log. There's that wing of wood. There it is. Finds it. About a swing and a half ahead. And this has been the devil in the detail. Let's see how these single buck saws run. If they can get clean, smooth cuts, avoid the hang-up. I feel like Arden is losing a little bit of momentum here, but it is going to be, he's going to be right there with Jason. That's not bad at all.
Hold and serve, trying.
1-1 opens up. Very, very big progress on the near side of that block for Jason Lentz. Swings that nose around beautifully on the far side there. Clears that last chip out. There it is. In the time trials earlier today, Tommy, I think I described the finish of Jason Lentz's block as just gross. Just drove a grotesque amount of timber, something that I never could have dreamed about doing in my entire career, even on my best day with the wind in my back. Never could drive timber like that, man. Just clears through that pig's ear of timber sticking up there.
Hey, hats off to Arden Cogar. Really good time from Arden as well. He was just up against Jason Lentz.
Yeah, a 106 is an exceptional time.
That's a great time.
But when you're up against past trophy champion Jason Lentz, who comes in at a 102, well...
Yeah.
And the winner is Jason Lentz.
You know, we had this quick interview with Trevor earlier talking about everybody helps each other out, everybody's friends. But I was watching a replay of the national championships the Worlds last year, and your assistant, your good friend, your helper, Lawrence O'Toole said, mate, when you get out on stage, there are no friends. You've got to go after it. And your father, Melvin Lentz, told you yesterday, take no prisoners. And that really has to be the attitude when you come out here to win your national titles.
Yeah, Dave, we're all friends backstage. You know, party, drink beer, hang out together, but on stage, it's business, man.
All right. All business. Love it. We're going to let you get to business, get rested up. Big round of applause. We're going to see him again. There's your title holder looking for 3, Jason Lentz.
Well, Jason Lentz says it's all business, and business is good, Tommy.
Yep.
Let's take a look at this run here. Again, I got to give a ton of credit to Arden Cogar Jr. with that 108. That is an exceptional run. That's a great time. I don't care who you are. But it was all Jason Lentz here, just staying just ahead of Arden Cogar Jr. that entire time, posting that 102 time. Look at the backside of the underhand for both of these guys. Look at him just reach in, that accuracy to chase those 2 hits in, one right after the other. And look at the extension on this single block. Handle all the way in, nose of the saw, sucks all the way back to the edge of the block, even disappearing there for one stroke in the middle of the log. Super clean, drives it off, already on. Look at the focus as he approaches that standing block chop. And then I want to talk about the end of his standing block cuts. He has the confidence, the strength, the mental wherewithal. Even if things get a little bit sloppy there, he has a clean, complete cut. He is all the way up there to the middle of that block. Watch, he goes in, one up hit, and then goes into drivers. That near driver, you can see that vertical crack split right down the front of that block. That twist at the top of the block ever so slightly opens it up for that far driver in the downward direction, clears off the block. Beautiful finish from Jason Lentz.
Jason Lentz bringing it at a time of 1:02.23 seconds. That's the second fastest time we have had in this round of 16. He will advance to the quarterfinals in his quest for a three-peat in trophy competition here on this side of the Atlantic Ocean. Being here in Virginia Beach, they are the best in the world. They aren't here for a long time, but obviously they're here for a good time.
Yeah, I don't know who left the keys in the gator, but it did offer a good international team building event, let's call it.
There you go.
Our final heat in this first round, let's bring them out. Walt Page versus Sterling Hart. Sterling Hart, our Canadian champion. We've heard so much about him. Pound for pound, probably the best lumberjack athlete in the world. And he's been a great coach. You heard Trevor Beaudry giving all sorts of credit to Sterling Hart, and that is the man right there in the red on our right side.
He has got some trophy cred, that is for sure. World Trophy champion in 2018. Sterling Hart, you may know him from way back if you follow STIHL Timbersports. Was a climber when climbing was a part of the format back in the days. Father also a great climbing guy. Going up against another West Coast guy. This is the West Coast of the United States. That is going to be Walt Page. Walt Page now, one of the veterans here at the top of the STIHL Timbersports Series USA. He was top 4 in our U.S. championships in 2016 and 2021. He was 9th place in trophy both of the last 2 years.
Warm up your saws.
Some of our guys have said Stirling could be the X factor in this thing.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Yeah, Tommy, some of our athletes have said that Sterling could be the X factor, and I agree with him 110%. I think out of the entire Canadian field, he is one that could give any of the U.S. competitors a run for the money and become that North American trophy champion. Walt Page over on the left side of the stage, though, he's my guy. I'm like, why isn't he on that podium?
Yeah.
Why hasn't he been there?
That's hard to figure.
It's not clicking yet for Walt Page. He is right there, though, with Sterling Hart. I don't think he's got what it takes to beat Sterling Hart today, but I think he should be on that podium in the near future.
So talented.
Sterling stepping in, looks calm, cool, collected. We're about the 43-second mark as he transitions to the standing block. And this is where Sterling Hart just accelerates. He is an unassuming guy in terms of stature. You stand him next to guys like Jason Lentz, and it looks like Jason should just snap him in half. But the methodology, the focus with Sterling Hart is just 100% there. But look at Walt Page over on the left side of the stage has reeled in Hart. Hart is headed to
Wow, he got it. Oh, my goodness.
Sterling Hart. This is, well, there you go. Did I just get my wish?
You did.
Did I just win? Oh, no. Trouble on the left side of the guy. Somebody's going to have to get a defibrillator over here for me. I don't know what to make of this. I was going to hand it to Hart, and then I thought, well, Page got it. Now we got a flag. So that does not mean a disqualification. It just means that Walt Page, something under there is under review. And you can just see the drama with Mitch Hewitt as he sends that thing into the crowd.
Yeah, so we have a disqualification on this stand. The rule is that the axe has to be placed securely in the block for safety reasons, and the axe fell out of the block while Walt was chopping, so the winner is Sterling Hart.
A quick word with Sterling Hart here. Yeah, unfortunate for Walt. Well, Sterling, rocked here in the earlier round, and I think it was more angry.
You were just absolutely firing. Tough block in the standing. You're one of the best standing block choppers. Everybody studies your standing block technique. How was that standing block? You looked like you were just slowing down, although you are incredibly fit.
I just made it look difficult, to be honest with you. That was a beautiful block, and I made a bunch of mistakes in the back. Like I made 3 or 4 huge mistakes in the back, which allowed Walt to come through. And you never want to win that way. That's a super unfortunate DQ. Because big hand for Walt Page because he earned that victory, but I'll take it and make the most of this opportunity. So.
Thanks, Sterling. See you in the quarterfinal round.
Well, we'll see that replay in just a moment here.
Let's go watch these guys go head-to-head, and we'll try to highlight what actually went wrong with Walt Page. If you look at the left side of your screen, you see that axe stuck in the block. Looks like a bit like a trophy. Well, when he went to set it, it actually double set it, like it didn't want to stick. Now watch, there it is. His opening blow on that standing block rattled the stage to the point. So the rule is that axe must be firmly planted in that block. It cannot fall out. It's a safety rule. And when he was transitioning from the underhand over to the single buck, he kind of like double clutched it, like he stuck it, and it started to roll out a little bit. He actually grabbed it, recognized that, went back and set it again. I'm not sure what happened, why that axe was so free in that block, but in that transition from the underhand to the single buck, that's where technically the problem happened. It didn't manifest itself until in the standing block when he started putting the blows into the standing block. Now you can take a look at Stirling Hart. Just a rough cut for Stirling Hart in the backside of that log. I'm back down off the ceiling of the tent now.
Well,
but
deep breaths.
Yeah, really. What a race between two tremendous axemen.
Yeah.
I thought we did. We just saw Walt Page put an exclamation point on the day. Like I said, I don't know why we haven't seen him on the podium in this trophy event yet. He is right there. He's got the skill set. He's one of the coolest-headed guys out there.
Oh, yeah.
He just should be up there.
Absolutely. Well, Stirling Hart with a time of 1:11:22 will be our 8th athlete to advance to the quarterfinals. Our round of 16 competition is complete. We have another round coming up. The quarterfinals, 4 matches, and only 4 will emerge. We'll take a quick break and be back to Virginia Beach.
Your local ACE is the largest national retailer of steel power tools. Gas or battery, you won't find this full lineup at a warehouse store. You can find it at ACE. And right now, save up to $50 on steel trimmers and mowers.
ACE is a place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Duluth Trading Company was born from generations who showed us that the only way to live life is to live it hands-on.
To do it the hard way. To take the trail untrodden. To take the damn thing apart, put it back together, and have the world be better for it.
We don't think that the go all in, dig deep, and get your hands dirty spirit exists in everybody.
We know it does. Duluth Trading. Take on life with your own 2 hands.
Let's roll, let's go.
When we work in harmony, anything is possible.
The pursuit of the perfect cut continues with our full line of STIHL mowers. From gas or battery to zero turns and push mowers, join the pursuit and find your perfect cut. Real STIHL. Find yours.
It's great, the U.S. and Canada having this North American Cup. It's a great idea. I think the caliber is really strong.
Stirling, I would say, is definitely the Canadian to keep an eye on.
Top of my list, I mean, you got Jason, who's been a finalist champion for the U.S. You got Stirling, who's a finalist champion for the Canada.
I really think Matt's the one to beat because he's the best underhand cutter.
Matty Slingerland's going to be at the top of the game too. Myself and Nate Hodges will be right in the running as well. So it's like, it's just like there's a point where everybody's almost on an equal playing field. It's just who's going to want it the most.
We are back here in Virginia Beach, Virginia, the North American Trophy Championship 2024. We start with 16 athletes, 10 of them from the United States, 6 of them from Canada. We have had our round of 16, so we are down to 8 athletes now. The top finishing athlete from each country is going to represent his nation in the World Championships trophy, coming up later this month from Milan, Italy.
around the world. It's going on right now. This is live.
All the folks who have
get your flags up, wave at the cameras, ladies and gentlemen. We got about 45 more seconds of it. I'm losing my voice, so I need you guys to take over for me. Thank you. Great job. Keep it going. Great job. It's being broadcast Australia, New Zealand, all over Europe, the U.S., and Canada. And trust me, everyone is watching you right now, ladies and gentlemen, right here, Virginia Beach at the 24th Street stage. But like, look at this guy in the middle. Yeah, get on this guy right in the middle. 2 fists skyward. I love it. All right, about 15 more seconds. One more big burst for about 15 more seconds. That's the best one. Where's that been? Where'd that come from? That's what I wanted to see. Great. All right, that's it. You did it. Here we go, intros. Quarterfinal round. Let's bring them out. Matt Cogar and Ben Nicely. Matt Cogar on the left.
Getting ready to go with heat number 1 of the quarterfinals. Matt Cogar, time-wise, our fastest through the round of 16. Took care of George Williams, Canada, Nova Scotia, Canada, in his first round. Going up against Ben Nicely. Ben Nicely performing nicely in his first round, his heat of 16. Well, taking out Canada's Marcel Dupuis. Not a small feat.
No, that was a surprise for me. And it was nothing against Ben Nicely. Just Marcel's a great cutter. He's been right there in this trophy event for so many years. So good on Ben Nicely. He's, I don't know if you want to say fighting above his weight class or whatever, but he put on a great cut, and he's here. He deserves to be here.
He's going to have to fight above his weight class again, I think, coming up in this heat. Upcoming. Going up against Matt Cogar.
Warm up your saws.
7-time U.S. champ. Won the U.S. trophy in 2018. Backed it up, winning the World Trophy in 2019.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go.
Matt Cogar very quick on the go up into the block. I don't think he had his hand exactly where he wanted it. I'll have to go look in the replay to see what all went on there. But it seemed like a little bit of a bobble there on the stock saw. Here he is. Look at this beautiful underhand. Oh, there's a hang up from Nicely. Oh, and another hang up from Nicely. Again, it just puts the brakes on the momentum. Your axe recovery out of that block is so critical to keeping that flow. There you see a firm axe set from Matt Cogar. He just saw what happened to Walt Page in that last heat. He doesn't want to DQ. Not really putting on a blistering pace here in this single buck. Matt Cogar's putting up a good cut. I think there's more in the tank, though. Ben Nicely still right there with him. Here we go, down to the standing block. And if I'm Ben Nicely, I do not want to try to pass Matt Cogar in a standing block. Last up driver there from Cogar as he comes around. One and one for opening blows. Chasing those corners. Yearwood is done. Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
What a beautiful finish. Just, these guys that drive off that much timber. Yeah, it's nice soft white pine. It's beautiful wood to cut. But the hit placement and the confidence and the tool, it all has to line up. Just driving through a disgusting amount of timber out there.
Matt Cogar's time not as fast as it was in the round of 16, but fast enough to get the job done. All you have to do is win, just win.
And the winner is Matt Cogar.
There's so many things in your mind. Look, I just want to chop. I want to chop and I want to stop. But there are rules, and it's happened to you. You've been knocked out from slight rule infractions, and you saw what happened earlier with the axe coming out. Does that get stuck in your mind? Do you ever have deja vu, like, oh, I hope this doesn't happen to me, or you're just like, you just got to go for it and do your job and trust your training?
I think all the hours that you spend training, that's what happens. You're thinking about it. It's like,
you know, what am I going to get DQ for this year? And then you got to put that out of your mind. Just focus on what you're doing on stage. Put the best cut you can forward, and then, you know, just hope for the best towards the end.
You want to tell the crowd real quick how you're keeping yourself going in between events? Because you got to go again in about 10 minutes. What are you doing out back?
Just staying a little bit stretched out, just using the Theragun, keep the muscles lubed up. You know, I brought a conditioning bike just to help get some of that lactic acid out and keep everything flowing. And, you know, your heart's the pumper for this whole race. You got to keep it clean too.
Go rest up, buddy. Thank you for the interview. Here you go. Big round of applause, Matt Cogar.
Yeah, there it was. So now that we slowed things down and I can actually process a little bit, I knew something didn't look right. There you see that 2-finger grab as he hooks onto that chain brake. So again, that's bad, but it could have been worse. A few ounces of extra pressure against that chain brake and it will lock up the clutch on that saw. It's a safety feature. It's supposed to be there. So again, bad, could have been worse. This is where, though, I think he lost some time, is in that single buck. It was a smooth cut, it was a clean cut, but it wasn't that Matt Cogar pace that we're used to seeing. So I'm not sure if he knew he had this heat in the bag and just kind of set a little bit of cruise control pace here. But again, safe, clean cut, got the job done. No hang-ups like we've seen in some of the other heats, like Mark Boquin earlier on today.
Just kind of gliding from station to station. Didn't look like he was overdoing it, getting ahead of himself in any way. He's keeping it in control.
And again, this is where we saw this with Jason Lentz. We got to talk about how these guys are finished the block. Tons of wood cleaned out on the far. Leaves that pig's ear, that little peak of wood in the back, and they just thunder down a blow on the back side of that log, the far side of that log, I should say, and just drive through a tremendous amount of wood. That saves you that chip hit, that up hit. If you don't actually have to put in an up and a down hit to clear that wood out and you can just slice through it, you've just saved yourself one blow of the axe. That could be the difference between a championship and a silver medal.
Well, Matt Cogar gliding his way right into the semis with that cut right there. 1:01.39 seconds, which is a little bit slower than his cut in the first round, as we said. But as you said, Kevin, probably just pacing himself a little bit, getting ready. Matt in just terrific shape. Talked about his training regimen. He calls it low-impact training. Before he makes a cut in his training regimen, he does about 30 reps on something called a ski erg, which is sort of a rowing machine that can work horizontally or vertically. Just really super worn out with that, and then makes his cut to train for trophy. That was our first heat here in the quarterfinals. We will have 3 more heats to identify 4. We will pass on to the semis. If you're just joining us, Matt Cogar, 7-time U.S. champ. Won his first 2 matches, or his first 2 heats, in order to gain the semis.
But also, if you're just joining us, it's worth pointing out this is the this is the 3rd time that all of these competitors have run through this sequence today. They all went through time trials. They all went through the first round. Now we're in quarterfinals. This is all of their at least 3rd time running through all of these disciplines.
And here they come. Let's give it up for Ben Cumberland and Matthew Slingerland.
Stand number 1 right there, Canada's Ben Cumberland. Very impressive the first go-round. 1:08.75. To defeat his fellow countryman Jeff Larkin. In the round of 16, Ben from New Brunswick, Elmwood in New Brunswick, Canada. He is the defending individual champion for the nation as well. Matt Slingerland, 3-time silver medalist in Team World Competition. And so close so many other times. It's so many big championships here in the United States.
Yeah, Matty has been right there. Just right there. we're so close to seeing him have those last couple of pieces fall together, and I think age is going to bring that. I think that maturity, that outlook, I think age is going to bring that. I think it's going to help bring those last couple pieces together. It's going to be interesting because both of these guys are exceptional power sawyers and also single buckers, single sawyers. And so I feel like it's going to be an interesting transition between events. We're going to see how these guys stack up head to head.
Yeah.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Very clean up to the block. Both these guys just so smooth to the timber with the saw. It is Matt Slingerland through first and very smooth in his transition, getting that saw down, getting his protective equipment off, and getting into this underhand chop. Cumberland getting in the guts, looks at his axe. He's a little concerned about what that block may have just done to his axe. There's a big slab of wood coming off of Cumberland's on the backside of that log. He's got to play catch up though, which is going to be, oh, there it is, trouble for Slingerland on the top of that block. Again, these guys, I don't like the foot movement from Matty Slingerland over there on the stand. You can see he's kind of repositioned that foot, drives through at the end, though he gets the job done. But with all of those chips on the stage from the stock saw, that's where we need to have spikes on our feet, I think, to get them locked in. Look at Cumberland as he wades into this stand-up block chop. He's going to do his best to try to reel him in, but Matty Slingerland is running away. If Matt puts in a clean back on this block, he's looking to drive. There it is.
He's got it.
Looks like a new personal best for Matty Slingerland.
We're going to wait for the judge's decision on that. Get a quick interview with that swing.
And the winner is Matt Slingerland.
Zoom in on this. So this is Matty Slingerland's down hits. You can see these purple lines that he draws, and he split that line down the middle with that axe, with these $700 racing axes. But last year, Matty, you missed your line. You went way high. It caused you trouble. The trouble just kept mounting, and Nate Hodges reeled you in. Didn't happen today. Ben was not going to catch you. Talk about that race. I'm going to put down this sappy, sticky log that's got all over my nice new steel jacket. Talk about it, buddy.
Yeah, thanks, Granite State. The wood's been awesome. I just got a clean run. I had a little bit of energy since I got that first race out of the way and just went with it.
Great job. Love the racing stripes as well.
Yeah, I figured it'd make me a little faster.
We'll see him again. He's moving on. Semifinals, Matty Sling.
A great head-to-head matchup. Two great stock saw operators. Matty Slinger just a little bit quicker through the block and just a little bit smoother in that transition. Gets him over to that underhand just about one swing ahead. You can see Cumberland on the stand number one there on the left, the near ground, I should say, the right from this perspective, is just a little bit hung up. You see him actually stop and look at the axe. A little bit of trouble with that block, but he gets into the backside and it just starts falling apart. Too late at that point, though. Matty Slingerland is off to the races in that single buck event. Matty, though, I got a little concerned in the top of this block. He is an exceptional single sawyer, but not to sound like a broken record, Tommy, trouble in the single buck has been a theme in this trophy event. The guys are not getting in, getting settled, getting their feet in the right spot, and it just shows up when we see these hang-ups in the single buck.
Cumberland starting 3 hits behind Matt Slingerland at this point right there. He just had too much to overcome.
Yeah, Matty is too strong of a stand-and block cutter, but again, you go back a couple of heats, look at Sterling Hart's run. Sterling Hart is an exceptional standing block cutter. At that point, I had that race chalked up. I'm like, yep, no, Sterling's got this. he put in a disastrous back on his standing block. Same thing could have happened to Matty Slingerland. So Cumberland stays in it, keeps his nose to the grindstone, puts in a solid time, just not going to be enough to take out Matty Slingerland.
So Matt Slingerland's going to advance to the semifinals. It's a good move for him. It's going to make the competition very, very juicy in the semis. Looking very much forward to it, and we are 2 down in our 4 quarterfinal heats. Cogar and Slingerland passing through.
You know, Tommy, I love a good bracket.
Oh, yeah.
Love a good bracket.
Yeah.
And this single elimination, like, there have been a lot of hearts broken here today already.
Oh, man.
We are only, I don't know, what, a third, a half away through, like, the entire event. There have been a lot of hearts broken because of this single elimination format.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of really tough competitors are packing their tools right now.
You prepare, you train for it. One tiny little, however improbable little infraction, although it happened last year as well. What happened to Walt Page?
Yeah, we've
and
seen,
there it goes, poof.
Yep, and yes, the rules and the fraction, sure.
It's a safety consideration.
It's a safety
legit,
consideration,
for sure.
Absolutely, and it broke some hearts. It broke Walt Page's heart. But at the same time, like, you look at all the other matchups that we've seen where, you know, a transition from one event to the next, a stuck hit, a botched second half of a block, or a really exceptional second half of a block. Yeah, what an amazing format, and what tremendous pressure on these competitors.
Something tells me we're not done with all these little untoward things that happen to Ernest. Great attempts at winning the heat. It's just the nature of this sport. It's what makes it exciting. I mean, it's got all the components we love, the speed and accuracy, and we're also getting to enjoy the incredible demand for endurance that this one asks.
Let's bring them out, Nate Hodges and Trevor Beaudry.
Stand number 1, Nate Hodges. Great performer from California, relatively new. Top-level STIHL Timbersports competition, but has been around the sport all of his life. Made up his mind to be good at it, and good decision. He has pulled it off, going up against Trevor Beaudry, second year in a row. Trevor Beaudry has advanced to the quarterfinals. Chopper and Sawyer from New Hampshire, Walpole, New Hampshire. 5th place last year.
As you pointed out, Tommy, Trevor Beaudry made it to quarterfinals. That was his stopping point last year. Nate Hodges made it to the podium. Got a taste, liked what he saw from on top of that platform, and like to move up a step or two.
Warm up your saws. Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Those runs for both these guys. Remember in the previous round, Nate Hodges had some difficulty, grabbed that chain break just a little bit. Look at the hustle for these guys getting over to that underhand chop, turning into a foot race as we advance through the rounds here. Club-handed cutting again from Hodges there on the left side, stand number 1. Beaudry with that more traditional slide-handed cutting on stand number 2 on your right. Looks like a very clean run. Beaudry just a fraction ahead.
Hanging in there.
A little more hustle from Hodges to get over to that single buck. Hodges with barely any time on this freshly filed single buck saw. Just got it back in his hands, but doing a great job with it. Seems like a natural fit. It is slight advantage Hodges as he goes into the standing block chop. We'll see if those arms can hold out for him. Beaudry's got to reel him in. He's running out of time here. Beaudry putting in a little more homework on the front side of that log than Hodges did. It may pick. No, it isn't. It's all Hodges. Oh, look at this. Beaudry. Wow. Beaudry just swiped at the near side of that block on his second side of that standing block. Had to go back for one more hit. Great close finish from these guys. Well, Tommy, I think 8 seconds was Matt Cogar in our first round of competition.
First round, 16.
101 from Hodges. We're kind of watching these times just to see. Granted, it's different blocks, different trees.
The winner is Nate Hodges.
Get you center stage, bud. I know you're looking at that log. Well, let's talk about that. You know, we're not just chopping logs. It is a pattern. It is technique. There's so much into it. All these micro adjustments you can make. What are you looking at?
Well, that was a good log, Dave. I tried to get a little aggressive and started to drive a little early. I thought, you know what? Don't risk it. You're not Matt Cogar. Been watching that guy just punch him off in 7 in the back all day. I was like, you know what? I'm going to put another round in. It was kind of a silly move, cost me a couple hits, but kind of an insurance policy. It falls right off.
Well, it was a great cut, great race all around. I know you're not Matt Cogar, but you did just beat him by a second, so you do have the fastest time in this round. You said you're going for gold. I'm going to let you get backstage and focus, and good luck, buddy, in the next round.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Dave.
There you go. He made it in the bronze medal last year. He's going back to revisit that round, looking for gold.
Nate Hodges' official time 101.58, and Trevor Beaudry knocks out his second personal best in a row in 2 goes. 2 heats there, but falls short, does not make it to the semis. Nate Hodges now advances to the semis along with Matt Cogar and Matt Slingerland.
Here's the run once again between Beaudry on your right, Nate Hodges on the left. It's just a tiny advantage to Hodges, but look at the foot race. I think that was probably the lowest or smallest elapsed time from the end of the stock saw to the start of the underhand. I think those guys put on a great 40-yard dash for us here on the stage in Virginia Beach. You can see in the near ground there, Hodges with that club-handed chopping. He's got some tape around that handle for grip. Doesn't slide his hand, so yeah, put some extra grip tape on there. Punches in a couple quick drivers at the bottom. You heard in the interview with Dave Jewett how he talked about that one extra round. He went and took that extra round of chips out, finished very quick with just a couple of punchy drivers at the end. Great run there with that freshly filed Mercier saw into the standing block. Again, swings one of the biggest axes in the business. Beaudry, watch this, drives through the block completely on the near side and has to go back and pick up that one last blow on the far side of that log.
Three slots in the semis filled right now with Cogar, Slingerland, Hodges. One more heat left to go, and we will be set for 4 semifinalists to go at it in that round. After that, we will have the small final from the losing side of the semis to determine the bronze medal and then the gold and silver. Final event of the day, fittingly crown our champion and runner-up. Crowd has stuck around. You know, when you got a place like this, you're at a fair or a big event or a big-time vacation weekend action place like this, you know, people drift in and out, but we have maintained our crowd through this. These guys are putting on such a terrific show.
Diana, West Virginia, our national champion, two-time Jason Lentz. And coming all the way from Squamish, British Columbia, the Canadian champion, Stirling Hart.
Jason Lentz on stand number 1 there. Personal best in trophy format. You see it right there, 58.49. Going for 3 in a row. Stirling Hart came in here. He didn't want to win that way, the way he advanced to the quarterfinals. A DQ, Walt Page, but Stirling's got to take it. And he's going to move on to the quarters and try to make it to the semi.
He acknowledged that very graciously. And then
yes, he did.
With Dave Jewett, he says, geez, Walt Page beat me fair and square.
Yeah.
But with that DQ for Walt Page, and let Stirling Hart advance. A tough lesson for Stirling Hart. He is an exceptional standing block cutter, and that standing block did not go according to the script.
Warm up your saws. Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go.
Well, Tommy, earlier I actually referenced standing Stirling Hart next to Jason Lentz and the difference in stature. Well, we get to do this now, and right now it's advantage Stirling Hart. He is sprinting over to that underhand block, had a bit of a hang-up, got the heel in a little bit heavy on that opening drive, but it was advantage Hart going into the underhand. Lentz around first, though, into the backside of the block. A bit of a rough cut there in the front side of Lentz's block. Doesn't matter, got the job done. Hart has to step back up. That is going to be an immense loss of time. Oh. Jason Lentz is going to run through this single buck event. That was a tough break. It was advantage Hart going into the underhand, advantage Lentz coming out of it. And this is where things are just going to get violent. Jason Lentz is going to destroy this standing block chop like he's destroyed all the other standing block chops today. He is well past the front, or excuse me, the midpoint of that block. There it is again. He's got to put like some kind of like proprietary stamp on the finish of those standing blocks.
4 hits in the back of that standing block. You go 1 up, 1 down, and 2 more. And this is a man on a mission. Fueled by power, won by precision. Jason Lentz has put out a clinic.
One more look at it. You got it. Violence is the word, Kevin. You nailed it.
And the winner is Jason Lentz.
It's so much fun having a commentator, the stage announcer. I don't know what to look at when you're going into that final standing block. I don't know how to look at the act. I'm focused on your face, and it is absolute. I will not lose this event mentality. The drive and the 4 hits in the back. I can hear my mic, Kevin and Tommy calling up there, and they're just like, it's disgusting. They just can't find the words to describe the power you're bringing today.
Yeah, you know, Dave, I came here last year. I had an X on my back because I was the previous year winner. I backed it up last year. I'm here to do it again.
There was a meme made a few years ago when you won a national title. I believe it compared you to Milli Vanilli as a one-hit wonder. You took it well, but you proved it's not happening. You're here to stay, buddy, and I love it.
Yeah, I'm here, Dave.
Good job. We'll see him in the semifinal round.
So as we go back to this replay, stock saw, yada, 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 underhand, it's going to happen next, and whatever, back to the single block, but standing block. standing block has become Jason Lentz's exclamation point on this discipline. Right on the other side of the wall of the tent for me is a gentleman by the name of Roger Phelps. If you've been around timber sports, everyone knows Roger. He's seen a whole lot of these events go on. And he's losing his mind as much as we are over here, Tommy. It's hysterical because this is just an absolute clinic from Jason Lentz in this standing block event. Matt Cogar is the only one that I see even holding a candle to the finishes on these blocks. Watch as he wades in the front of this block. Opening hit actually wasn't that tremendous, but he's putting these hits exactly in the right places. And watch as he comes in with this next up hit, wham! Clears a huge chip out of there, perfectly to the center of that log. Goes one up, now 1, 2. Now that near is done, goes to the far, just drives off, leaves that huge whole pig's ear, that wall of wood sticking up in the air. Didn't have to clear those chips, just drives through it.
Jason Lentz rounds out our semifinal 4 right there, a time officially of 1 minute and 1/100th second. That is the fastest time out of the quarterfinals right there. So now the field is set for the semis. Matt Cogar, Matt Slingerland, Nate Hodges, and Jason Lentz. Our medal lineup at the end of the last 2 years is represented in our semifinals today. So things change sometimes, and there's a lot of constant elements at play here as well. Four left from the original 16. We are ready to get that underway momentarily. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back here in Virginia Beach.
Your local ACE is the largest national retailer of steel power tools. Gas or battery, you won't find this full lineup at a warehouse store. You can find it at ACE. And right now, save up to $50 on steel trimmers and mowers.
ACE is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Duluth Trading Company was born from generations who showed us that the only way to live life is to live it hands-on.
To do it the hard way. To take the trail untrodden. To take the damn thing apart, put it back together, and have the world be better for it.
We don't think that the go all in, dig deep, and get your hands dirty spirit exists in everybody.
We know it does. Duluth Trading. Take on life with your own 2 hands.
Let's roll, let's go.
When we work in harmony, anything is possible.
Make your first move with battery power made by STIHL. Right now, save $50 on select AXEtion battery tool sets. Real STIHL. Find yours.
Like a 400 on a track, the kind of demand where you're just kind of flat out the whole time and pretty well gassed by the time you finish the standing block.
The first 100 meters, you're settled into the race. The next 100 meters, you're just building up a little bit more speed on that, going into the next turn for the next 100 meters, which is a single bucking. And then once you get to that straight stretch, that's the standing block, and that's when you're trying to whatever you have left in the tank, drop it there and try to maintain that lead.
My feeling is adrenaline compensates for any amount of endurance you can have. So.
For our sport, this is like a mad scramble sprint, and it's hard, and it gets ugly, and it hurts, but it doesn't last that long. You know, it's running a mile. Like you've got to run that mile. It could take 10 minutes. It could take 5 minutes. Get it over with. Train for it. You know what I mean?
it's not a set time of hurting. So the more fit you are, the faster it's going to get done and less it's going to hurt.
Back and ready to go momentarily. Semifinals. Trevor Beaudry there likening trophy competition to the 400 meter. That's a good analogy there. That's the longest sprint there is in track and field. And this is a sprint. Takes about the same amount of time for a winning effort. That was a good analogy. And people rarely have any oxygen left at the end of the 400 or the trophy. A trophy heat, a typical trophy heat.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm going to fight you on that one.
Okay.
Tommy. I'm going to fight you on that
All
one.
right.
I love you.
Bring
I'm
it.
going to fight you on that
Bring
one.
it.
Yeah, okay.
Do your worst.
The 400, the sprint, right?
Yeah.
But here's what I want you to do. I want you to do the 400, and I want you to do the 400 with a refrigerator held up over your head, shoulder pressing it as you're doing the 400. Right?
There are some additional demands.
Okay.
I will say, yeah,
Like,
I'll cede that to you.
This is such a total core, total body.
Ugh.
Like, I don't care what event, what sport, whatever analogy you want to make. This brings together so many different muscle groups in so many weird ways that just don't happen anywhere else.
And it's happening harder now. They've been through 3 heats at this point in the day.
And it gets faster, too.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, world records keep dropping. Like,
Yeah.
we're
You
shaving
don't get to
time off.
coast in.
No.
You got to build up.
Well, if you just arrived, you showed up at the right time. This is the semifinal round. Let's bring him up from Grafton, West Virginia, Matt Cogar. And his opponent from Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, Maddie Slingerland.
Here we go, Matt Cogar. What a dominant figure in the United States and the world stage for the past 10 years. 7 times the U.S. champ, winner of U.S. trophy back in 2018, winner of the world trophy in 2019. Matt Cogar going up against Matt Slingerland. Is he on his best trajectory ever in one of these top-level events? Could be. Seems to be very, very calm and in control and sort of controlling his own destiny here. He's got a major challenge, though, in that man right there, Matt Cogar.
Yeah, I can't agree more, Tommy. I fought you on that last thing about running the 400, but I'm on board with you on this one.
You want it, I'd give you that one.
I love what I'm seeing from Maddie Slingerland today. This is that mental focus. This is exactly what we've needed to see. This is what we haven't seen at some critical points over the past couple of years. But again, to your point, now here comes Matt Cogar.
Saws.
So, yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be a good one. Up until recently, Matt Cogar held a world record in this event, 54.68. Now he holds the second fastest ever time.
To your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Maddie Slingerland super quick on that start. I love that. I think it's going to pay. Oh, no, they're going to come out about a dead heat. So Matt Cogar able to reel him in. But there it is, just maybe a strike and a half ahead of Matt Cogar. This is going to be an absolute barn burner. It's going to come down. Oh, Tommy, that was so small, but that may have been it right there. There was a hanging hit from Maddie Slingerland, the bottom of the front side of his under. Something as minuscule as that may hang him up. But no, there's bigger trouble. There it is. He finds the end of that. He has got to get his in gear in this single buck event. He's got 2 very, very Matt Cogar-ish events that he now has to out Matt Cogar him in.
Doing his best. The boy just cannot keep up, cannot hold serve so
I think
far.
he gained a little bit in that single buck event. This is just, Cogar around the back. Small advantage here. He's been finishing these blocks very strong. There's a bit of a hang. There it is. Matt Cogar continues his dominance, a 101 around that same time that we saw from Hodges earlier today. Maddie Slingerland was right there. There's a few pieces just started to fall apart, but right there. Two good friends. These guys have just literally grown up, multi-generational competitors. They've grown up in the sport together. Awesome to see them race together.
Nice job, gentlemen. The winner is Matt Cogar.
Got Matt Cogar here, Grafton, West Virginia. Matty, the last 2 years, as John Denver said, it's been almost heaven, West Virginia. Almost. Yeah. You're going back again in the finals. One more. How you feeling?
Yeah, feeling all right. Just another one to cut and see what happens in the end.
I like how you were running over to your single bucket, just kind of shaking your hands, loosening it up. Seems like you're just loose, having a little fun. And then at the end, you do have to have some fun. Be loose and let yourself do what you've been training. Trust yourself.
Yeah, you just got to trust what you've been working on at home and, trusting your gear, knowing that it's cutting, and then just let it eat. And then at the end, just if you left it all on the deck and you still lose, you still won.
We'll see you in a few minutes, buddy, in the final round. Big round of applause. Matt Cogar, he's going back. Our final round, moments away.
Folks, one of the cleanest runs that we've seen in terms of both competitors just leaving it all on the stage. Matty Slingerland super fast to that block. Matt Cogar was able to reel him in, I think, a little bit through the wood on that stock saw. Very clean run. Ultimately, though, it was right here in the underhand chop where Matty Slingerland just fell behind a bit. I don't think he had quite as much done on the front side of the log. Kind of took out alone on the front side, had to pay it back on the back. That gave advantage to Cogar going into that single buck event. Matty Slingerland's an exceptional single sawyer. I think he regained some time maybe in that single buck event, but it just wasn't enough. You turn Matt Cogar loose on the standing block, and he is right there with Jason Lentz. Again, beautiful, clean front face in the front side of that standing block. Look at him with a very short, small back face, and then just drives through an enormous amount of wood.
Time of 1 minute, 1 second, 35 for Matt Cogar. He's kind of keeping it even keel right where he was in the last. He was a little faster in the very first in the round of 16. No matter, he's there. He's into the final. The other half of that final has yet to be decided. Matt Slingerland will go on to the small final to do battle for the bronze medal. This has gone by very, very quickly for a lot of reasons. These athletes are fast. Our crew on stage, we can't say enough about them. They are so fast. I mean, that's how you keep people in their seats. I mean, you leave them wanting more by making it go by quickly.
Personally, Tommy, I could give up my seat right now. I've been jumping out of it.
Well, yeah, you've come to your feet a couple of times here. I might almost call you flighty.
Yeah, I love this trophy format, and as a former competitor and someone who's literally been around the sport for decades, you can't help but get excited. And I've been looking around the crowd. We talked about the crowd coming in. There are competitors showing up. Like I just ran into 3 different competitors from New York who came down just to watch this, like make the trip down just to see this event. No other reason, just to come see this event. I'm getting messages from other competitors around the country. I got a message just a little bit ago from Brad DeLosa sending a message from Australia. Wow. So good to hear from my good buddy Brad. Like, everybody's watching.
Oh.
Everybody loves a good trophy match.
Oh, it's been a show so far. There's no doubt about that. Some terrific performances. And those names that you expected to be around at this point.
Second final heat of the semifinal round. Let's bring them out from North Fork, California, Nate Hodges, and our returning champion from West Virginia. Give it up for Jason Lentz.
Well, there he is, Nate Hodges. He can do it all. He can build you a house from a barren piece of ground. He can take you up in his airplane and get you an overhead view of it. He can open a string of axe-throwing establishments, successful establishments in the West Coast. And he can set his mind to it and get involved in the STIHL Timbersports Series and make a big splash. He is looking to make one of the big splashes of his career right here. If he can pull this off, somehow figure out a way to get past Jason Lentz. toughest competitor in trophy over the last 3 years, no doubt about that. 1 in 22, 1 in 23. Looking for 3 trophy championship victories in a row right here. Got to get past Nate Hodges.
Warm up your saws. Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Both clean starts, both up to the woods. And Wood cleanly, we saw Hodges struggle a little bit earlier with a chain break grab. Looks like he's going to have the axe into the wood just a little bit faster, but that shorter swing is powerful. But you see Jason Lentz just raking through the rafters and powering through this underhand block. It is Hodges, about 2 blows ahead. Remember, we're going to rewind to last year. It was Hodges in the bronze medal position, and it was Jason Lentz at the top of the podium. This could be an upset here. Lentz looking very good, but it's going to be Hodges again. Lentz did himself a whole lot of good, but you know what? Dead heat right now, essentially.
Absolutely.
And we've seen Lentz just destroy the back of these standing blocks. As they are coming into the back, it's got to be Lentz. I can't imagine Hodges is going to pull this out. Make me a liar. Let's see. Oh, my gosh! What a finish!
Word.
57 seconds. 58 seconds. That is disgusting. Yeah, we're competing.
What a finish. I'm speechless. I got to go back and watch the back of this block. We see Jason going to drive. I think Nate Hodges has been taking some notes. That was like half a swing. Advantage Jason Lentz. If we weren't so far across there, I'd run up there and shake Nate Hodges' hands. What a run. Oh my gosh.
Race of the day so far, no question about that.
Well, that 30-inch axe handle, sometimes our cameras just got a little too close in, streaming around the world. Let's wait for the final call, though.
All right, gentlemen, nice job. The winner is Jason Lentz.
Jason Lentz. Very, very quick word as he moves on to the finals. Great cut, Jason. I know there's a lot of moving parts here. We've seen it before. The boom cameras can get so close. Tell us what happened. Was that in the underhand chop?
Yeah, as I ran over Dave, it was a bit too close. I didn't see him raise it up, but I yelled, "Get that thing out of my way." Yeah, I don't know. It can't be there the next round. I know that.
Good presence of mind. You single buck. You're on fire. You picked the right day to be on fire. You gained ground. You gained that half swing you needed. Good job.
Thank you.
We'll see him again in just a moment in the finals. I believe we'll be doing a small final event. We'll be bringing out one more time Stirling and Nate Hodges. 12 minutes away. Maybe we can see that underhand shot in the replay. Here we go.
Here's another look at that heat. I'm going to need to start taking some kind of medication because this is just too much. This is just too much. These guys move into the underhand chop. It's advantage Hodges. He's around to the backside of that block. Nice looking stick. The axe is liking it. Nice big slab out of there. Cuts it cleanly. Goes after the bottom of that. Skips that one top drive or one top chip hit. And look at the sprint. I think Hodges is posting the fastest times across our stages. This is where Lentz is just able to reel in, get a slight, I want to say advantage over Hodges, but gain some time back over Hodges. This is where we got to like staple some kind of medal to Nate Hodge for not giving up on this. Me, I'm like, well, Jason Lentz, stand and block. He's just going to just walk away with this. Nate Hodges, though, has been watching these guys take these blocks apart. He goes, you know what? You want to see wood drive? I'll drive wood. That was about a half a swing. I don't know what the official times come out to. I don't even care. That was like fractions of a second between those two choppers. Look at the smile on Nate Hodges' face. He knows what a race he just put up. He's got to be happy with that. I know he wanted to win. He wanted to go on to the championship round, but he's got to be happy with that run.
What a result. Jason Lentz getting away with it, though. Man, oh man, personal best for both of these athletes, a 57.83 personal best. Jason Lentz wins that one, advances to the final, and Nate Hodges 58.31. Little less than half a second behind. It even looked closer than that to me. Though we have the official times in front of us right there. That's race of the year so far, and I'm going to be hard-pressed to beat a heat like that. I mean, through the rest of the season. I'm talking about the U.S. Championship as well. But who knows? We may beat it in the finals here.
We got 2 more heats to go.
We got 2 more heats.
We got the small final. We got the final.
Yep.
You might be eating those words, Sanders.
I hope so. That means it's going to be a great day. Oh, we got 2 big matches coming up. Settle the bronze with the small final between Matthew Slingerland and Nate Hodges, and then it's Cogar and Lentz going at it in the final for the championship coming up after this.
Your local ACE is the largest national retailer of steel power tools. Gas or battery, you won't find this full lineup at a warehouse store. You can find it at ACE. And right now, save up to $50 on steel trimmers and mowers.
ACE is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Duluth Trading Company was born from generations who showed us that the only way to live life is to live it hands-on.
To do it the hard way. To take the trail untrodden. To take the damn thing apart, put it back together, and have the world be better for it.
We don't think that the go all in, dig deep, and get your hands dirty spirit exists in everybody.
We know it does. Duluth Trading. Take on life with your own 2 hands.
Look at that thrust. He's going for the try. What a cut. Another grudge match battle. What was that? Holy cow. Wow, look at that. This is what we call hardcore blue-collar toughness.
Number 5.
Athlete ready. Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go.
Into the wood, both touches starting. Oh, Hodges a little bobble at the top, but he's going to run through, showing a time in the low 6-second range, doing his own pre-inspection before the judges get over there. I think he was worried he got out of hand at the top. Maybe the centrifugal force of that motor spinning pulled him off course a little bit. Uh-oh, reaching into the pocket. Oh, boy. Rich Hallett calling in the second judge to take a look. The rule states that the line must be severed. You can nick the line, you can shave the line, you can approach the line, but as soon as the line disappears, the line is severed. This has got to be a contentious one because both judges are really looking this over.
Stand 1, your cut was good. Stand 2, missing line. DQ.
Number 4.
3, 2, 1, go.
Well, and all that is backstory at this point. Cassidy Shearer can easily beat that time to beat, but I don't like how this opening face is gone. He ends up working the middle of this block, kind of left the far wood unattended. He's got to go back and pick that up. Grant Foreman, a great cut going on here. There it is, Grant Foreman ripping off. That is probably going to be a new personal best for Grant Foreman.
Number 3.
3, 2, 1. Go!
Ben Whalen very quick to the wood. If he can maintain it, he'll post a solid time. Sends one flying across the stage.
Ben Whalen. Where'd this come from?
Number 2.
3, 2, 1, go!
Watching absolute speed of Hodges. 4 hits and 4 hits fast. Look at this. It's unbelievable, Nate Hodges. But look at this. Jason Lentz right with him. Jason Lentz is absolutely hanging with Nate Hodges, not intimidated one bit by the national record holder. And here comes Jason Lentz. He's going for it. Lentz is going for it. He's up first. And Lentz has absolutely got so much power. He's going to need it as here comes Hodges.
to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Matt Graves very quick on that go into the log. What a great swing. What a clean cut from both of these athletes. Look at how flat and smooth that cut is from Martha King. One missed hit, one stepped hit, but an extremely clean front face there from Martha King. Samantha Graves, though, not waiting around as she wades into the backside of this block, attacking those corners, reaching to the far. There you see she's attacking the near, looking for it to spin on her. One in the guts. It is going to be Samantha Graves taking down our two-time champion, Martha King. What a tremendous chop here in Milwaukee.
Let's roll, let's go.
When we work in harmony, anything is possible.
Power through your to-do list. And create a space that really makes a splash. Right now, save $30 on the FS56 RCE trimmer. Real STIHL. Find yours.
The trophy race is definitely a different beast than any of our traditional timber sports disciplines.
It's probably an accumulation of a lot of different things like endurance, being good at every discipline and efficient at every discipline, and even being able to bounce back and do it 10 minutes later and keep doing it.
It is you in the block, and you know, once you know you're up against one of them good guys, it's time to give it everything you got and some.
Yeah, it's the mental toughness, you know, to be able to go through each of those disciplines.
You're digging deep and trying to find as much motivation and as much drive to finish that race as you can. And I mean, it's just a pure knockout, drag out kind of event.
Our athletes talking about how you got to reach down and get it. Man, oh man, they're about to roll up on their 5th heat of one of the most demanding things you can do, which is run this trophy route.
This is the right mic. Here we go. Let's do it. Semifinals. We're calling it the small final. This is the fight for the bronze medal right here. Let's give it up. Matt Slingerland and Nate Hodges.
Going to be Matt Slingerland on stand number 1. Matt Slingerland really looking good through the first 2 rounds, also in the qualifying as well, but just could not get past Matt Cogar in that semifinal round. So he's going to go up against Nate Hodges. Nate Hodges just got finished laying down his personal best, 58-31. And oh man, is that going to give any kind of advantage to Matt Slingerland? I mean, he has exerted so much. Slingerland's time gained this spot right here, 1:06:56. So a big discrepancy in time, but that doesn't necessarily mean it isn't going to be a good race.
Well, I'll tell you what, Tommy. Yeah. Okay.
Like, look, fair enough.
I mean, I'm going through all the heats, every step that these guys took to get here, all the way back to time trials, and looking at, you know, each discipline, the transitions, and the change they've shown throughout the day. Holy cow.
What have they got left in the tank?
Athletes ready!
We're about to find out.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
And in my mind, this first discipline, it should be advantage Slingerland, but stock saw there's not much to lose or gain. Well, there you go. They're neck and neck. Hodges, though, again, I mentioned this in the last round, he is putting down the fastest lap times across the stage. Forget about the disciplines, but just getting from one discipline to the next. Hodges is the clear winner there. Slingerland, though, struggled the underhand in that last round. He's got to take what he learned there, apply it. Some hang-ups, though. Hodges, though, has been putting in clean faces. Underhand, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if Slingerland's not putting the work in the front of this block. I know his dad Mike is out here in the crowd, and he'll be letting Maddie know whatever went wrong. Hodges is running very strong with that freshly filed single buck saw. Hang up at the bottom, though. I feel like he's starting to lose some gas. These guys are going to start almost identical. We've got an absolute horse race on in the standing block chop. I feel like this is where we're seeing the arm chopping of Hodges kind of come. Oh, this is going to be an awesome race. This is where I feel like the arm chopping of Hodges is going to come back.
Oh, it's Hodges.
Hodges is going to stick with it. Unbelievable.
Wow.
Maddie Slater was right there. He was reeling him in. Hodges was absolutely losing it. Gassed as he was working into these last two disciplines. We've talked about how he's a very high-speed chopper using a club-handed technique. He relies on those big arms, but this is where it starts to hurt him. You can't rely on those muscles, and I feel like he is just getting gassed at this point. What an unbelievable heat. Glad I got rid of my chair before the start of that event. I probably would have kicked it out from under myself. What an exceptional job by Maddie Slingerland to reel Hodges in after that underhand. I don't know what's going on with the underhand cuts in his last two rounds up here. Yeah. It has not been the Maddie Slingerland underhand that I would expect to see. He'll get it sorted. Man, what a battle.
Well, they left it out there. All remains. Identify our bronze winner, Rich Hallett. Here he goes.
Nice job, gentlemen. The winner is Nate Hodges.
It's an unbelievable race by these two combatants. I don't know what to ask you, buddy. I mean, I'd rather listen to you and Matt talk about, I know you're worn out, but you can't leave yet. You got to do one more interview. Bronze medal. Again, how many bronze medals is this for you?
More than I want. I get to sit down the podium again. It's kind of nice. But it's been getting old looking up to Matt and Maddie, Cogar and Jason. But hey, it's better than not getting third. I'm happy.
I mean, you have to take home the victory that you cut a 1 minute flat. And in the one round, you had the fastest time. You know you can do it. You've got the believability. We know we're going to see you next year. As you said earlier in an interview, when you get into timber sports or anything, it's 100%.
Yeah, Dave, as part of it is I want to train this event more, but folks out here, you see how much work that is. Gosh, it takes a lot of energy and effort to go out and train like this because it's like anything hard. When you're at home training by yourself, it's hard to push yourself hard enough to be ready for this event. So, but I'll do it again next year.
Thanks for entertaining us all once again, Nate Hodges. Stick around, you got one more race to watch. Big round of applause. Came all the way from California for the bronze medal. Stick around, one more heat remaining. This is the finals. Who will represent the United States in the one and only May 25th answer? 2 minutes away. Just showed up.
What a colossal battle. These heats are just getting tighter and tighter.
Man.
The competition is so absolutely tough. And there, once again, I don't know if anybody's clocking the times across the stage. I think Nate Hodges gets the gold medal for the sprint across this stage. He had to come back and step up, thought he had it finished, had the wherewithal to step back up, take one more blow. I love that he's wearing his metal calks. He is locked into this stage. That Mercier saw is absolutely ripping, and he's putting it to work. There's some things we can clean up there, and I know he's got a whole year to think about that. And he's got some stuff in his working on the single buck coming up just in our regular Timber Sports event in Milwaukee later this year. Matt Slingerland beautiful looking standing block cut, and what a tremendous finish at the end of this. Like, you just don't know. These two guys are going to go head to head in the standing block, blow for blow, and it really could have gone either way. What an amazing race. Two amazing woodcutters.
One more look at that final moment here, how fast it was. That is 0.4 of a second difference there. It didn't even look like that much right there. Nate Hodges gets it, gets the bronze again. Too many bronzes, he says, in his resume right now, but he'll take it for now. What a great, a second great, 2 in a row, tremendous heats. Just couldn't be any better. Neither one of these competitors had smooth sailing through that heat.
No.
But they wound up in the same place.
Yeah, yep, exactly. That's exactly right.
One more left to be decided, and that is the big one, the championship of the STIHL Timbersports North American Trophy. It's coming up, the final heat. Lentz and Cogar next.
Your local ACE is the largest national retailer of steel power tools. Gas or battery, you won't find this full lineup at a warehouse store. You can find it at ACE. And right now, save up to $50 on steel trimmers and mowers.
ACE is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Duluth Trading Company was born from generations who showed us that the only way to live life is to live it hands-on.
To do it the hard way. To take the trail untrodden. To take the damn thing apart, put it back together, and have the world be better for it.
We don't think that the go all in, dig deep, and get your hands dirty spirit exists in everybody.
We know it does. Duluth Trading. Take on life with your own 2 hands.
Let's roll, let's go.
When we work in harmony, anything is possible.
The pursuit of the perfect cut continues with our full line of STIHL mowers. From gas or battery to zero turns and push mowers, join the pursuit and find your perfect cut. Real STIHL. Find yours.
$16 competitors we started with, 6 of them from Canada, 10 from the United States. We're down to 2 Americans. And this is the big one, the final championship effort. Jason Lentz looking for his 3rd big-time trophy title. In a sense, the same story for Matt Cogar. Matt has had a world and a national trophy title, 2 national titles in a row for Jason Lentz. What a great small final we had to decide the bronze right there. Hats off to Nate Hodges. Hats off to Matt Slingerland as well. What a race.
Finally made it here. This is the final event, final round. Let's bring him out from Grafton, West Virginia, Matt Cogar, and his opponent, the 2-time returning champion from Diana, West Virginia, Jason Lentz.
Bear in mind, this is the 5th time, the 5th go around for this extreme exertion effort that you have to put out to win. The only way they got here is to win every time they teed it up today. 4 heats, 4 wins in the tank for Jason Lentz. Same thing for Matt Cogar. Both of these guys have been in this position before. Jason Lentz would like for it to turn out the way it turned out last year and the year before. Matt Cogar would like to change the scenario, change the narrative this time around.
Well, Tommy, in addition to the exertion that these guys have put down for the number of rounds they've been competing now, I feel exhausted. This is just...
It is a little bit of an emotional roller coaster watching this. It's such great performances, such athletic performance.
And just like our small final, this one, this could go either way. I'm going through...
Absolutely.
I know I'm supposed to provide some kind of brilliant insight as to which discipline who's going to pull ahead with and
Athletes
whatever.
ready.
These guys are
Stand
just going to be
to
neck
your
and neck.
timber.
Here we go.
3, 2, 1, go!
Super quick to the timber, very clean cuts. They're going to come right out of the bottom of this together. Then transition over to the underhand. Just a half a swing advantage for Lentz. We'll see if he can hold that advantage. That may be, there's a hang up though. There's two hang ups from Jason Lentz. Now advantage Cogar. Into the back of this block. I think Cogar's got it.
Yeah, he's
really
got
clean. He looks really good.
Oh, my
Lentz
goodness.
has got trouble.
Look out.
Lentz has got to stay in this though, because there you go. There's a hang up for Cogar in the single buck. So I feel like Lentz almost looked a little defeated stepping off that underhand, but now he's switching it into gear. He is gaining some time on Cogar. Matt Cogar, though, he is just going to run away with this standing block chop. Both of them around in the back, though.
Oh, my goodness.
Jason has a really short front, though. I don't know if he can overcome this. He's been driving timber all day. This might
it's going to be Cogar.
The emotion from Matt Cogar as he steps away from that standing block, goes over to congratulate Jason Lentz. What a run. What a relief for Matt Cogar. He has been just absolutely doggedly going after this event. And he finally got it. What a run from Jason Lentz, though. Just unbelievable race from top-notch axemen.
Well, they're level now with 2 national trophy championships apiece. Matt Cogar certainly holds the huge edge in national championships. But what a day.
All right, gentlemen. Nice job. The champion is Matt Cogar.
Hey, you can keep those hands up as long as you want, buddy. I'm excited for you. I'm happy. You did have, it wasn't flawless. I know you pick apart all the hits. Last year you said I had 3 sticks. I hung the single buck. It was not a flawless race. You did have a hang in the single buck, as did Jason. These things happen, but you just have to move past that. 57 seconds, your fastest time of the day. Take us through that race.
It's such a blur. I don't know if I can remember it all. Really it's just getting over to this underhand, cutting it. I felt maybe like a few slips there. Got to the back of the block. It split off. I was like, come on, you got to come off here. Came off, got over the single buck. I knew Jason, he's such a great competitor, Hart. He's really great at a single buck. And I was like, okay, you got a new saw, trust it. Just get into it. And, I just, okay, got through that. Slipped, and I was like, oh, God, come on. And then got to stand a block. One of my favorite events, probably one of my best events. And just cut the thing and had a little bit of a mental blur in there because I think there was a little chip in my edge of my axe and a little scratching on the log. And the whole time I was just like, just keep trucking. Just keep trucking.
Tell us the difference fitness-wise. How do you feel physically between this year and 2023, right now, in the moment?
Right now in the moment, I feel good. Let's run up another one.
Buddy, I'll tell you, I've been commentating for about 15 years. I've never seen more emotion pour out of you after an event. Enjoy, buddy. We got an award ceremony coming up. Stick around.
Thank you.
There you go. Matt Cogar. He's done it from Grafton, West Virginia. Stick around, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have a quick award ceremony, and rumor has it Aslan Beer Company is going to bring a few beers up on the stage for the athletes, and hopefully for this stage announcer. Been working hard, slaving over a hot mic. I could use an Aslan beer.
What an epic ending to an amazing day. two tremendous competitors. Tiny advantage. Jason Lentz going into this underhand, but things came unglued a bit here for Jason Lentz. The block just didn't come apart right for him. I don't know if we're seeing some mental errors after all the blocks cut. This is where Matt Cogar got to run away just a tiny bit. So it was advantage Matt Cogar coming off here. Jason did a great job, though, reeling him in the single buck after that hook, that hang-up from Matt Cogar. That gave Jason that sort of window of opportunity to reel him in. It's not a done race. There's a bad slip as he tries to accelerate over to the standing block. And again, at this point, the way we've seen Jason Lentz cut standing blocks today, I still wasn't giving it to Matt Cogar. This was still a race that Jason Lentz could come back and smash through the block. Jason put in a very small front in the front side of this log and got around with Matt Cogar. Maybe a little bit of a mental game there, trying to make Matt think it was a closer race than it was. But in the end, Matt had just done a better job in the front of that log, had more timber cleared out, was able to drive it, and I can't agree with Dave Jewett enough. Matt Cogar's a pretty reserved guy. You'll see him celebrate a little bit, but that's probably 10 times more emotion than I've seen from him at any other point. This win means a lot to him. Jason Lentz has dominated this trophy event for several years now and has been just an absolute force to be reckoned with. Put on a great day today, too.
Absolutely.
You know, I don't know. Yeah, he didn't win silver, though. You can't argue the career he's had in this trophy event. So I know it meant a lot to Matt to dethrone him after the holy reign of terror that Jason Lentz has been on, just absolutely destroying this stage.
Matt Cogar with emphasis in this final heat there, an almost 4-second margin ahead of Jason Lentz right there in a time of 56.90. Always playing in the background today. You think, well, it's probably going to come down to these two titans getting together at the end. I mean, yeah, we were prepared to be surprised, kind of expected, maybe hoped to in some corners here. But, man, oh, man, it delivered. It absolutely delivered.
Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, this is it. Let's give a quick shout-out, though, for Stirling Hart from Squamish, British Columbia. He is the top Canadian. He will be representing Canada in Milan on May 25th. So a big round of applause for Stirling Hart. Let's give it up for Stirling. He worked hard. And now let's move into the top three. Taking home the bronze medal is Nate Hodges. There you go, Nate Hodges from North Fork, California. And our silver medalist from Diana, West Virginia, Jason Lentz. And here we go. Our gold medal winner for the first time in Virginia Beach from Grafton, West Virginia, Matthew Cogar. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is our top three. And I just received word that we will be back here again next year on this venue. We are so psyched for you all. Show best crowd we have had. I love it. We're going to see you all again next year for another North American Trophy event. All right, it's time to give these guys their medals. We're going to be bringing the medals out. Oh, here they are. You're right over there. I'm sorry. We've got our Steel USA and Steel Canada medals. Taking home the bronze medal one more time, Nate Hodges. And the silver medal going to our two-time champion, Jason Lentz. And representing the United States in Milan, Italy, May 25th, taking home his second national title. Give it up one more time for Matthew Cogar. And there you go. Give everyone a big round of applause. Here comes the beer. Oh, this is great. You didn't think I could get any better here in Virginia Beach. And where's mine? Oh, no way. Let's give a big round of applause for all of our athletes from the U.S. and Canada. STIHL, John Deere, Ace Hardware, Duluth Trading. And all of our sponsors have been involved, and all the vendors, the production crew, the stage crew. Enjoy, gentlemen.
Well, there you go. Dave, you and I, if we had a glass, we would raise a glass to our medalists there. Of course, Nate Hodges, Jason Lentz, and Matt Cogar. Matt Cogar, who had his first trophy experience a decade ago in Budapest. He's had a world championship. He's had a national trophy championship. Now he's got his second trophy champion. I think he treasures this one a lot, don't you?
Yeah, this is going to a special place on the mantle for Matt Cogar.
One more time, congratulations to all of ours, to Stirling Hart, who will represent Canada, and Matt Cogar, who will represent the U.S. in Milan later this month.